Hey everybody, and welcome back to the mainstream. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody. I'm here with my special guest.
Ana Xaden.
Anna Xaden is here. Anna's never been on this show yet, but she's been on multiple different shows. And so as everybody knows, that been following the mainstream. I've been doing the Karate Kid series. So I did one, two, and three. Now this is the fourth in the installment, but it's leaving away from the Daniel LaRusso saga going into the Julie Pierce saga, which only has one movie, sadly. I wish she had more.
Yeah.
Just at least one more, and I'll get to why. But we're gonna be talking about the next Karate Kid, which I always thought was a bad title, but I mean, it was not supposed to be. It was supposed to be a sequel, you know. It couldn't be called Karate Kid Part 4 because it wasn't Daniel's son. So I didn't realize until I was watching this movie that he says "san" for everybody. Like I could call you
Mhm.
Ana-san,
Yeah.
Ana-san. I could call I don't know. Uh I wonder if
Japanese thing.
Pat Morita ever did that like outside, and it
I
was like
know, I
when
wondered that too.
he was ever meeting somebody and he was like, somebody's like, "Oh, my name is Brittany. Brittany-san. Oh, nice to meet you." Um, I don't know. But so anyway, this movie was wow, so it was directed by Christopher Kane. I'm gonna look him up real quick because Christopher Kane's done a few movies. He was I mean he did a lot of horror before he did this, I think too.
Hmm.
Or at least some horror. And it's weird because so he directed like I think he directed like Young Guns, Yeah, he directed
Uh,
Young Guns. Kind of a cute movie, It's a very cute movie. And then he did a TV movie after that called Wheels of Terror, which sounds awesome but looks bad. He did that movie. Remember that movie Pure Country?
yeah.
Um, yeah, so apparently he did that movie.
Hmm.
He also did The Next Karate Kid. And then after this, he did a movie called Amazing Panda Adventure. I feel like I heard that title, but I don't
Sounds
remember ever
familiar.
watching it. Uh, he did the movie Gone Fishing with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover. I remember that being so bad. That was just so unfunny. Oh, he did the sequel to Pure Country 2, The Gift. And the last movie he's done is a movie called Deep in the Heart. So, is he still? Yeah, he's still alive. So, um, he also did a movie called September Dawn. He directed that movie, which starring John Voight, and that was
Hmm.
in 2007. Okay, and yeah, so those were his big things, and he was good. I mean, the direction wasn't like there was no style or anything I could tell, Like
Hmm.
I almost feel like anybody could have directed this movie. I mean, it did keep with the tone of the John G. Alfredson movie. So John G. Alfredson was the director of the first three, kind of kept with the tone of it. So it did feel at least with the style, and everything. It did look, similar. So it
Yeah.
fine. The writer of it was this guy named Mark Lee. And we're going to talk about the writing in a second. He had only done a movie called Fortunes of War before this, and then a movie called Hostage Negotiator in
Oh, I
2001.
remember that. That was a
Are
good
you
one.
are you sure it's the same one you're thinking? It's got Yeah, I don't think it is because I think you're thinking of Hostage.
No, there's a negotiator to it. Who's in
Or
it?
talking about Negotiator. There is a movie called The Negotiator. Gail
No,
O'Grady, Michael Bowen, Brian Bloom, Don S. Davis. Yeah, I don't think this is the one you're thinking of.
I
Are
don't
you
think
talking
that's
about The
one I saw.
Negotiator?
I don't think I don't know. The
The
one I'm
same are you
thinking about had Kim Director in it.
Kim director in it?
Yeah.
Huh. Let me see. If I can pull that up real quick.
It may not have even been that title, but I thought it was. I don't know because the title I saw was in Spanish, so could be anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we had done a movie with that starred Joe Pesci called The Super.
Okay.
Kim director was in a movie called The Super. Um, and
Wow.
I don't know if that's the same one, but
No, I
I mean
don't.
it's not the same one. It's 2000.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So Kim director had only been in like He Got Game, Summer Sam, Bamboozled, Book of Shadows, The Blair Witch 2, Unforeseen. Let me see which one would might sound like a There's a movie called Inside Man. I don't know if that's probably not
No,
it. Um, I don't know.
I don't remember the title exactly in Spanish either. So it was a good movie though. It was like a hostage situation and they were trying to break into the safe.
Yeah, I don't
She
think
didn't
that's
really, I don't remember her speaking though. That was the weird part. I just remember her presence in the movie. She was one of the bad guys.
ah
Yeah.
not sure, but anyway.
Yeah. I thought that
Um
was the title, but yeah.
so the next Karate Kid, all right. So he had only done those things. Um My problem with the script was I would have rather had the original writer. I don't know if there was a reason he didn't come back. Like maybe he was just like, that's not the story I want to tell, and that's what the studio wanted to go with. Or is there any? Let me see some trivia here, because there's got to be some trivia. Um, duh, duh, duh. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, the producers of Cobra Kai have discussed the possibility of Hilary Swank returning as Julie, though
Hmm.
as in this was as of the third season, they did not show she hasn't show, and still by the eighth or the sixth season right now so far, we have not seen Hilary Swank yet. So
No.
hopefully we
But
will.
there were photos on one of their Instagrams and she was in them. So it kind of makes me wonder if she's going to be in the second half,
Maybe, maybe
maybe. Or she
I
just
or
thought,
the
hey, I'm
third
going to
half.
go hang out.
There's one last bit. There's like because there's five episodes and then five more and then five more after that. So she might be in the last bit that like
Yeah.
connects everything because my friend and I were talking about it today and I totally forgot or maybe I never heard. I think I heard of it, but that they're gonna do like a Miyagi spinoff show, like a young Miyagi show.
Hmm.
And yeah, so you're caught up on Cobra Kai, right? Season like uh,
I'm not all the way through season 6. I've gone through about 4 episodes, I think.
okay, four episodes. I think you're caught up with the fact that Miyagi is a little
Oh,
something's
yeah, he's
going on with
shady. He
Mr.
has something
Miyagi right
shady in
now.
his past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're digging up his past, and
Yeah.
I think that's because at first I was telling my friend I don't like that. I wasn't happy with that. I was like, leave the poor guy alone, man. He's dead.
Yeah.
Like leave his memory alone. But my friend says that he thinks that's because of the spit off, because they're going to be doing
Hmm.
something kind of cool with that.
Cool.
Let's see. I was trying to see if in the trivia they say anything about why. Um, no, that doesn't. It is presumed that Daniel went to college. However, in the series Cobra Kai, Daniel was talking to one of his students and stated that he never went to college. So,
Yeah.
I guess he just, well, because Miyagi went to Boston, right?
Mhm.
That would have been cool if they did get a little cameo from him, and he's like, because the story is that that Miyagi went to see, and was it a funeral or something? Like it was some kind of commemoration thing,
Uh, yeah. I
and
don't remember if it's a funeral or what.
it was an award thing. I don't know what it was for the military, and he uh met up with the I guess the friend's like former wife, I guess, because I think the grandfather died. And
Mhm.
so which really sucks for Julie because she only has like one family member, unless you count Miyagi, but she only had like one family member left, you know. She was almost a complete orphan, you know,
Yeah,
when this movie was going. So the grandmother is upset, can't control her, can't, you know, doesn't understand her, you know, whatever. And Miyagi tells her, just go to you know, go to my place and water my plants, and I will take care of all this. He says in a very more Miyagi way. And so she says, okay, she goes off. Well, which I thought was always weird. Like, well, I guess it's more now that I wonder because, like, back then, I don't think I cared, like, or ever thought about it. But, like, leaving a, you know, old man, you know, with a minor is probably a bad idea. Now, she did turn 18, I believe, in the movie, but like
yeah,
he was technically still 17 when he first started babysitting her, and that was a little weird. He had
yeah,
never met this chick before, this girl before, and I mean, and she kind of like there's no fight for it. Like, why are you leaving me, Grandma? Don't leave me with this weird man. You know,
yeah.
it's almost like they just accepted it real quick. Um,
Hmm.
so anyway, she goes there. I would have thought that it would be great if there were a cameo where Daniel's stopping by Mr. Miyagi's to say hello, and then sees, you know, sees this old woman and is like, ah, like where's Mr. Miyagi? You know, um, but like it would have been a nice little touch, but of course that would have cost them probably too much money to just do for a 10-second cameo, you know, or whatever, right? Um, so anyway, um, so yeah, so all that's happening, and now Mr. Miyagi has to deal with this, you know, 17-year-old rebel, you know, or whatever. Like she's doesn't want to go to school and learn knowledge, and what was the ambition? Was that line? Um, I wrote it down actually. They're called the Miyagi-isms. I wrote a couple of them. Ambition without the knowledge is like a boat on dry land. Remember that line? Like
Yeah,
that was a pretty damn good line. I
yep.
I would like that on my tombstone when I die. You know, you
That's
know, right?
cool.
With saying Mr. Miyagi on the, you know, as a quote. Um, what you know? So you haven't seen this movie in a while, right?
Yeah, since I was like, man, I don't know, probably 17 is the last year age I saw it at. But
And
I
you
was
still have the
obsessed with this
VHS?
movie. Yeah, I recorded it off HBO or Showtime. I think it was HBO though.
So you don't have like an actual physical like regular VHS you recording of it.
It was a recorded, yeah, off of a
Wow.
movie channel. Yeah, I don't have the actual VHS from like a video store or anything.
And you can still play your VCRs? Do you have
Yeah,
like an old
I have a
TV?
really old TV. Yeah, I have
Oh,
a TV
Jesus.
from year 1999.
Where do you keep that? In your room or somewhere else?
Yeah, it's in my room.
So wait, do you have more than one TV or do you just use the
Yeah, I
old
have
TV?
the big TV back here, and I have the little TV that I put in my closet. And I pull that out from time to time when I want to
Well,
watch
when you
other
need to
stuff.
watch a VHS,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a 13 or 15 inch, something like it's really small.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're giving
But
me
I had
19.
that before my grandmother gave me her, well, we got my TV from my grandmother, and it took me forever to figure out how to use the new one. So I just kept going back to the old one. I was like, man, I know how to push these buttons and hook this into there. I
I
don't know how to work HDMI or any of that.
you're giving me 1990, late 80 flashbacks. I remember I have a like neighborhood pool, you know,
Uh-huh.
and I would go there. There's this guy named Kevin, who he was a little off, you know, like maybe mentally not there exactly, but because he acted like sort of like a man child. But I loved him like to death. Like I thought he was always so super nice to me. I was a kid, he was an adult, you know, like he was still nice, you know. And he would
Mhm.
let me borrow tapes, you know, from
Oh,
him
nice.
and stuff. And so I went over to his house one day and he like opened up his thing and he had this like fucking library of like actual, not like recorded tapes like
Uh-huh.
yours, but actual regular tapes that you could, and he'll let me borrow some from time to time. I think you almost treat it like a rental thing, like you kind of signed out and everything. And so we did that, and I don't remember. I mean, I had to have given them back to him because and unfortunately, I don't know whatever happened to him if he had to go away to some place or something, or whatever. Because but he's now no longer in this neighborhood, which kind of sucks.
Uh,
But I did, and I don't know how old he would be now because he was older then, so he might me no longer be with us. I don't know. But the point is that I bet this was one of the movies that he would have had, or whatever.
probably.
All 'cause he had all the Rockies. I remember that, and it had all the James Bond movies, and everything. And I was like, not into James Bond. I'm still not into James Bond. I think it's kind of boring, to me. A lot of people love James Bond and think it's and they're into Mission Impossible as well, and just never got
Yeah.
into that. Not that I hate it or anything, it's just never got into it. Um, I mean, I'd watch it if somebody were like, "Hey, you want to watch a James Bond movie?" I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Can we watch something else?" No, okay, let's watch this. Uh,
Like,
uh,
here, check the scene out.
I like Doctor No though. Like that's my favorite James Bond. That was Sean Connery. That was a-
Uh,
after that. Even all the other Sean Connerys. I was like, not for me. Karate Kid was for me, and that's why we're discussing it on the mainstream. Because I grew up, you know, I I grew up sort of loving, and I've talked about this on probably all of them, all the episodes so far. But I did karate, so I grew up loving the Karate Kid. That's what got me into karate is Karate Kid, and then later uh got into I didn't I remember the first time I watched this movie I hated it. Um
hmm.
I it was one of those things where it's sort of a bait and switch. They give you Miyagi, but you get a girl who I wasn't aware of who she was. Like she'd never been brought up before. It wasn't like oh my friend blah blah
Oh,
blah
you're
has a
frozen.
whoa, what? I'm frozen? Uh-oh.
You
Can you
froze and then you sped up really fast. You're back
Okay.
to normal now.
All
Yeah,
right.
it just like went, you were doing this in
All right.
slow motion. Yeah.
It hasn't told me that my
It's probably my internet. Our internet's been messed up lately because of the
okay, because
storm.
it wasn't giving me any issues, so I had no
Yeah,
idea.
it's like you were doing this and then it like
Like
went
the robot?
yeah.
All
And then it
right.
went super fast speed and I was like,
Whoa.
yeah.
Uh,
It's probably our internet. Sorry.
that's okay. Uh, so yeah, I wasn't in like there was no mention of Julie, like he wasn't like, I know this my friend's granddaughter Julie San, you would get along with her. Like there's never any mention. So like all of a sudden there's new character and new like a whole new story, and it felt weird to me as a kid. Like I'm like I don't like it, and it's a girl fighting. Like I was a kid. It's not 94. I was what was it 11, and
Yeah.
so I was already just like, I don't want this anymore. Like, I had no interest. Um,
See,
so
I loved
I
it from the start because I wanted to be her.
exactly. That's probably
Yeah.
why most girls, like how most girls felt when they
Yeah.
watched this, because this was a very powerful character.
Hmm.
She has this amazing arc where she's a rebel at first, and then she sort of learns to become a better person, and then by the end of it, she has her like big fight, or whatever, which was pretty awesome. We'll get to that in a little bit. So yeah, I was never into it, and I'm glad you were, because I
Yeah.
I had no idea when I asked you. You could have said I don't like that movie, or or I've never seen that movie and I really don't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't even
It's just
ask
one of
you
my
how to
favorite
find it.
karate movies.
Right. Because this is not streaming anywhere, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a rights issue or anything, but I think Columbia owns this, so they should have give it to like Netflix or something.
Yeah.
I don't
And
understand. What?
yeah, I looked it up online and I had trouble finding it. So I was like,
I just spent $4 on it on YouTube. I was like,
ah, nice.
screw it. Like, it's a
Yeah.
rental, I'm gonna eventually probably I don't know if it's on Blu-ray or anything, but if I could get it on Blu-ray, I'll get it. I think it's on DVD. We know it's on VHS at least.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's on DVD somewhere. If I want to get it eventually, but I don't it's not something I'm gonna watch over and over again, you know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent movie to be honest, but it's just not it it's too goofy for me. Like I like goofy,
Yeah.
but w- read the room, you know? Like the other three were dramas. This was like one part drama, one part goofy, weird comedy, and then like one part something else. Like,
Mm.
I don't know.
Little part action.
Yeah, like inspirational action. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but I like but the goofy comedy definitely had a weird tone to it. So that's got to be the new writer because I guarantee you the original writer wouldn't have done those things. They wouldn't have invited monks to go play bowling, you know? Hey, are you there? Uh-oh. So, uh, yep, you're frozen. That might be my end, I guess. Hello? Uh-oh. Well, folks, we're experiencing some technical difficulties here on the the mainstream. Sorry about that. I am not going to edit any of this out, so get ready. I don't. Whoop! I lost. Now I lost. Anna. I don't know what happened. Maybe she. I don't know if she's having some storms over there or something and some issues. So hopefully she will call right back in. I might actually have to edit this. I did not want to do that today. I've got to get this out by Monday. Um, we'll see. Um, Anywho, I'm excited to continue talking about this if Anna is able to come back on. Um, let's see. Let me pause this then. Why am I still talking? Oh, hold on, she's on here. Hey,
Hey, can you see me?
yeah, I was about to pause it. I was like, why am I still talking? Like you were gone, at that
Oh man. Yeah, it was
particular moment.
connecting again.
Ah, that's
So weird.
weird. Yeah,
I'm sure
are
it's
you
my
having
connection.
storms over there or something?
Yes, all week.
Okay, that's
Actually,
right.
for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, we had storms for a while now. Like the next couple days are okay,
Oh,
and
cool.
then I bet they're gonna go right back to storms,
Yeah.
again. It's just this time of year. It always sucks, but it's good for the plants. Not
Yes.
good for us.
Oh, our plants look great.
Yeah, all the plants are getting all the water, and they're like, maybe they're getting too full. I don't know.
What's
Um,
creepy is we had the scene from the birds outside yesterday.
what?
All the blackbirds all over the yard.
Oh
I walked
wow.
back in the house. I was like, I'm staying in today.
Yeah, yeah. At at least it wasn't a birdemic, you know.
No. Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
so anyway, what I was trying to say, what was I talking about before? Oh,
Um,
the weird, like the weirdness of it, and I think
yeah.
that the writer, when the writer changed, like I don't think the original writer would have done all those. They definitely wouldn't have had monks bowling, you know,
Yeah.
them bowling. That
Or
was
dancing.
or dancing. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
What else do they do?
the monk. I mean, the monks were interesting, but it was
Yeah.
like also once again, where did this come from? Like this wasn't part of anything before, on the stuff. They were just like, what can we do for 2 weeks with Julie while she's suspended? Let's go to a monastery.
Yeah.
Like, and how does Miyagi know these people?
Yeah. They never touched down on that. Maybe
No,
he
it's just
studied there at some point. I
maybe,
don't know.
but it was strange. And then she
There's
goes,
a lot of mystery with Mr. Miyagi that I'm still confused about.
we're all
So,
gonna be confused. It's
yeah.
Mr. Miyagi is an enigma wrapped into a riddle, wrapped into another enigma.
Yep.
Um, well, I mean, because he was always sort of like that. It was sort of mysteriously like, when Daniel originally met him in the first Karate Kid, and came to him at the thing, like he always had that little bit of mystery, like who is this guy? And
Yeah.
you sort of get to know him a little bit in that one. Then in the second one, you really get to know him because he goes to Okinawa. And the third
Mhm.
one, you didn't really know him that well.
Yeah.
It went back to like, all right, you know him enough. And then this one, they just throw things out there, like see what sticks, and
Yeah.
it was weird. Um, and then there was the Michael Ironside, and probably one of my favorite roles of his actually. Playing the Colonel, you know,
Hmm.
and he did such a great job. Like, I was like, wait. So, at first, I thought they were hall monitors. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, yeah, hall monitors. Like they used
Because they
to.
had the thing on their arms.
Yeah, but it was more like that was more like MP kind of thing. Like you know how military police always have their thing. So I feel like
Yeah.
that was trying to be like they're like part of the military because they even do like some training stuff like the military and everything.
Yeah.
I guess he wanted to get away from it just being another karate movie, like she wanted to learn karate from um Mr. Miyagi,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to make it where she goes to a dojo and like they don't want to do the same exact thing, so they try to figure out what can we do, and let's do a bunch of like cadets in a fake like army kind of military training thing where I guess the idea is if he could help you get into like the Air Force by doing this, because he would
Hmm.
write you that letter. And he's Kreese. He's the new Kreese. Like
Yeah.
John Kreese was the guy from the first movie and third movie that was like the head of Cobra Kai. This was
Hmm.
like the new Kreese. Like, and I loved him in it. At first he sort of doesn't seem too bad of a guy, and then when you get that one thing with him, you're like, oh shit, he's Grease. Like, because he's telling the guys basically attack each other, finish them,
Hmm.
all this stuff. And Mr. Miyagi walks out and talks to him and everything, tries to distract him from like beating the crap out of kids, which,
Hmm.
yeah, that the principal should have been looking into that a little bit, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much of this is school sanctioned. Oh, you know, I let the colonel do whatever he wants, because it seemed like that.
Hmm.
What was up with the colonel being part of the police? Remember? I think that's what
Yeah.
happened. Like he shows up with the police.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
I
is
don't
he also
know.
a police officer? Like what is
Maybe
going
he
on
was
here?
maybe he was like an informant. I don't know. I that was another part that I didn't figure out, even though I'd seen it millions of times when I was a kid.
Even if
So
you saw it millions of times, I don't think you were thinking about that.
no,
Um,
I actually wasn't.
yeah, most
I was just focusing on the moves, like how can I do that on the trampoline?
there's some pretty cool stuff like jumping off and doing the kick and
Yeah.
everything.
Like that
And
move in the picture behind you.
Yeah.
I practiced till I got that down pat, and then I started jumping off the trampoline onto the ground like that.
Yeah,
I even
that
tried the little praying mantis thing.
you have to be pretty flexible, I guess, right? You have to be
Yeah.
very flexible, and then I mean she really does it. Like it's not like a stunt person doing it for her,
Yeah.
like and stuff. So they really did a good job training her. And that was another thing, like, because I didn't know, like, nobody knew who Hilary Swank was. She was not a big star at that time. She hadn't
No,
done,
the only thing
well,
I saw her in before this was Buffy the Vampire Slayer and possibly
that's right.
what was that other movie? No, the other movie, Sometimes They Come Back Again. I think that was after this.
But yeah, you're right. She was Buffy's friend who like
Yeah,
took
the
her
one with the yellow
jacket.
jacket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
took her jacket and stuff. And
Yep.
yeah, I absolutely, man, that's right. I forgot she was in that movie. Um, it's funny. I love that movie. I love Buffy
Yeah.
the movie, and I always forget how many famous celebrities are in that. Like Ben Affleck's in that movie. Really briefly, but he's in that movie as like a basketball player.
Oh, yeah. I
You
forgot
know?
about that.
Yeah, he's a
Wow, there were a
basketball. He
lot of
has the
people getting
greatest part though,
starts.
because the was the guy, the vampire comes down and to play basketball or whatever, and he takes it away from Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck's like, oh, just take it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yep.
man, if I ever met him, I'll be like, can you sign my Buffy movie? And he'd be like,
Yeah.
out of all the movies I've been in, you want me to sign your fucking Buffy movie?
Yeah, I would ask Hillary Swank for that too. I would take
Yeah,
that as well as the other one and be like, I need your signature on both of these, please.
that's awesome.
Not the next Karate Kid, just the other.
Or Boys Don't Cry,
Yeah, no, none
or
of those.
Million Dollar Baby, or any of the other movies that have made you a star. Just just the movies that just like nobody talks about, because like, that's cool. Then you can say, hey, I've got a Buffy the Vampire Slayer Blu-ray for me. Unless they come out to 4K, then then that's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But I loved her in it because she was total Valley Girl in it. I actually I used her character as inspiration for talking to somebody at a tattoo shop in California.
nice.
And the girl went ahead and got the tattoo. I was like, so like we're gonna do this and like well, I don't know. And she said, okay, I'm liking your ideas. Like, okay. So I mean,
So
we're
she was
just
a
going
Valley
back
girl.
and
So you were just kind of
yes, she was seriously a Valley girl. I was like, who have I heard on a movie that, oh, there we go. So I just
nice. So
threw it back at her.
you had to
Yeah,
communicate with the Valley girl,
exactly.
and
And
speak their
every other
language.
word was like, and I said, okay, I can do this.
Uh,
So talked her into
I
getting a
say
big
like all the
elephant on her
time.
back.
I say like all the time so much that
I do
like
too.
I should probably get it out of my,
I do it
vocabulary,
too.
but it's hard. That, and I
Oh, yeah, I do that too.
oh man, those are hard because like see, because like I just it's hard. It's hard to get away from that.
It
Um,
really is. It seriously is.
so if you hear
Oh, that's
that,
another word, seriously.
seriously, um, and so if you guys hear those from us, then just shut your mouth and mind your business. Because it's gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen more than you'd probably like.
seriously.
Seriously. All right. So, to go back to this, which she was not a Valley Girl in this. She was
No.
very sort of she was rebellious, but she was taking care of that hawk. What was the hawk's name? It was Angel.
Oh, yeah.
I got really mad though, because the guy was like, how do you know it's a girl? And I'm like, I know a dude that's named Angel. Shut your mouth. It could be a guy's name too.
Exactly.
But I also like that guy, the guy who played basically her love interest, and
Yeah.
I thought he did a fantastic job. Uh, so they meet when I guess Julie got busted by that dickhead. Like he's so good. He was a good bully.
Yeah.
I really hated him. So the actor did a fantastic job. I think his character's name was Ned. I'm like, that is the worst name for a bully ever. Like, you know,
It's usually the one being bullied.
right. Let's go bully Ned. You know,
They're like, we're gonna flip it up a little.
yeah, let's make the bully be or the nerd be the bully. He wasn't even a nerd. He was just he was just that popular. I don't want to say he wasn't a jock. He was just a kind of
No.
and he wasn't really even that great looking, like
No.
he wasn't somebody like Zach, Morris or something like that. He was just this average guy that happened to have a I don't even know if he had a crush on her, if he just thought like I wanted because I think he just wanted what he knew he couldn't have,
Yeah,
so
I think so.
he just went after her because he was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He reminded me of the goth guys in high school that were like the fake goths that thought they could, yeah, the ones that would act goth, but there were nothing of it when you got one on one with them. You're like, you, sir, are a poser. He reminded me of them.
Reminded me of that scene in Dead Man on Campus,
Oh my gosh, I'm really, really
where
sad. I'm really depressed.
you're a
Where he's singing
poser.
this,
It's like,
where
man, I
he's
am not a
singing the
poser.
show tunes. Yeah,
I'm,
singing the show tunes in the bathroom.
yeah. It's like, I am not a
Uh,
poser, man. It's like, oh, you're not even
yeah,
British. Storms off.
that was the best.
Oh, man,
But
yeah.
that's who he reminded me of in this movie, this
Right.
guy. He reminded
Yeah.
me of one of those. And I was sitting there watching it back then, and I didn't have Dead Man on Campus yet. But I remember thinking, this guy's a jerk.
Like a poser, yeah. So
Yeah.
he, he catches Julie and then he brings Julie to, the principal. Well, the principal, I guess, came in at that time and said, "Hey, what's going on here?" And she was like, "I caught her smoking." She was like, "I
Yeah.
wasn't smoking. What are you talking about?" And got to, come to the office. And I mean, that was some messed up crap because like that seemed like could happen, like a person who sort of had some authority,
Yeah.
planted the stuff because to get him because he was almost like it almost got very sexual assaulty, right there.
Yeah.
It got pretty rough, and I was like, "Whoa, isn't this movie PG-13 here? Come on!" Like, and they cut it like in a good enough time where I guess it was okay, but it got where I was like, this dude like probably roofies girls all the time, like to yeah parties. Like this dude is
Yeah.
a messed up character. Um, so then he ends up what is it so she ends up going to the principal's office and she has to leave and they tell her to take or tell the one guy, the love interest, what is his name, he had a he had a Eric. So Eric,
Okay.
they asked Eric to take Julie to the um to
Pro-
class.
Oh, to class. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgot.
And so he does, but then she goes into the bathroom, and
Mhm.
everything. And I guess she snuck out a window or something, or whatever, because before then that Ned guy, tells Eric basically hands off, that's hers, that's his, like, he's gonna have her. And I was like, damn, dude, like you are the worst scum bucket on the face of the planet. Like you're just a dick.
Yep.
Um, and he goes off and he finds Julie is, snuck off and he goes and tracks her down up in the up there and sees that she's with Angel the Hawk. And
Mhm.
we forgot to also mention before she had gotten busted before, or
Oh, yeah.
almost busted. She had snuck in at night, and what is it? The cops had come, and she got away before the cops. But the cops saw that it was a girl, and she got away from them and everything and was able to go, right?
Yeah.
So so they already knew like there's somebody. I mean, I'm surprised they never went back to the roof to see what 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 there was, right? Like,
Yeah.
up there that she was up there for. Because, you know, I don't even, well, I guess she kind of brought him home, the hawk, because, well, he would fly, or he actually didn't fly. So I
No,
don't know. I don't know. I guess because the mom wouldn't have probably allowed it, you know? Um,
probably. Yeah.
and so she kept it up there where, I mean, I think she was afraid that, like, because it couldn't fly, that the, like, SPCA or whoever, the wildlife stuff, would have probably put the, bird down, or you
Hmm.
know, so I think she was afraid of that. So she kept the bird, the hawk, in the cage up in the roof of the
Hmm.
school. And so she went there to visit the hawk, and then Eric finds it, and he's such a dick about it. Like, he's like, no, I'm not telling you what I'm gonna do, you know. And she gets in the car with him or whatever because of that. And maybe that's later. Was that later? I think it was later. But he says to her he's not gonna uh he's not gonna tell her what he's gonna do, because he's not gonna,
Hmm.
if he's gonna tell the principal, if he's gonna tell the wildlife, whatever. So he has her, like, mind going crazy probably the whole time. Uh
Hmm.
and then she she sees him later, and she asks him at the car, and she gets in the car and leaves. I think that might be after, if I'm correct, after they have that little incident with the Mr. Miyagi stepped in on, with
Hmm.
with was it the colonel, basically, letting people try to attack him, and then he's beating up all the kids. And
Hmm.
once again, I don't know why that's allowed at his on school property. Like,
I know.
uh,
You'd think that they'd be like, no hitting the kids, okay?
I know, like, and the kids aren't coming home, like, with bruises and shit, and the parents are going, okay, that's cool. You got attacked by the teacher. That's okay, you know. Like, I don't know. Maybe these kids don't have parents, I don't know.
Well,
Um,
you got to think back then, parents were just like, oh, they're just learning a lesson. Let the teacher have at them.
well, it was
Because we
weird.
had a teacher like that pretty much. He would beat up kids during gym class. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna go in the locker room and hide.
Yeah, they
So,
got all my gym teachers were super nice, you know.
oh, ours were not. Ours were like, oh man, there we called one Hitler. I mean, that's
Ugh,
how bad he was.
that's not good.
No, he would walk in and we just salute and walk off.
Right.
But there was one that would throw books at people because he also taught science. He was our gym teacher, but he was also a science teacher. And one guy kept getting the answer wrong, and he just chunks the textbook, and they were hardcover, and it hit him in the shoulder. I was like, dude, that, no,
Nobody said anything?
no. I
That's
was
the
like,
thing.
can you
Like,
do that? All I said was, can you do that? And he's like, are you even in my class? I said, I've been in your class for 2 years. He said,
mhm.
where have you sat before? I said, right here. He didn't even know I was in his class, and I sat 2 rows back from him.
Well, you never gave him lip before, or whatever,
Yeah, that's true.
you
It's very
know.
true. That was like senior year. That was like, can you do that?
Oh,
I mean,
that's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Um, especially since back in high school, teachers sort of got away with, especially in the 90s, teachers got away with everything
Oh yeah.
because, um, like, the only thing I remember is I had a teacher who apparently did drugs a lot, you know. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. I thought it messed up for a second.
No.
But no, so he had done drugs a lot and in fact like crack, not like just like pot, he did pot too. But man, that kind of stuff is just like what is in the world? Like they let teachers like this teach us shit and they didn't like nowadays hopefully things changed.
Yeah,
But I maybe not. Maybe it's gotten worse. I don't know.
I
I've
don't know.
not been back to high school in forever.
Yeah. I mean, there are cases of the teachers like having sexual contact with the students now and going to prison. And I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah,
weird.
it's usually a
Because I don't remember
girl.
any of
It's
that
usually
going on.
girl teachers too.
Yes, it's like, man, what do they do? Just get the job looking for the young guys? Bunch
I-
of cougars?
And then now like they're getting fired for being on OnlyFans, and stuff.
Hmm.
It's like it's a completely new world out there, in
Oh,
high
yeah.
school.
It's a
So
world I'm glad I'm not living over.
it's just weird. Yeah, it's just weird. But anywho, my dog is what is he doing? Okay. I could hear him moving around, and I think he's
Oh,
trying to make himself comfortable right now.
ah,
On my bed. Um, so yeah, so there's this. So yeah, all this crazy shit's happening. Mr. Miyagi steps in just to ask him questions and to distract him from beating the crap out of kids, and stuff. And I think he even says something like to him, like, "Don't do that," like, and so the teacher wanted to beat the crap out of Mr. Miyagi. Man, see, the movie would have been over had the teacher tried to attack Mr. Miyagi in the beginning,
oh
because
yeah,
Mr. Miyagi would have whooped his ass and made that teacher look like a wimp, you know.
yeah,
And that's what he sort of does at the end anyway, you know.
yeah, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. But see, you had to wait to the end to get that,
Yeah.
because but I was so mad because all right, this movie had already been goofy. I'm gonna skip to that part. This movie already been goofy like for a while, and then they do the one thing that they can do to keep it goofy, and they don't do it, which is the part where he goes, "Ah," and
Oh
then
yeah,
he just stops, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Where's the
Should
honk?
have gone honk.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
was that? Like what was this whole like? It was like that was like literally the worst bit of fan service where you're waiting for it and you don't get it, you
yeah.
know. And I was like, oh, he's gonna do the honk. He's gonna do it. And he didn't do the honk. And I'm like, all
No,
right, that
I was
sucks.
so disappointed in that.
I was
Like
too.
when he had him down, it's like here it comes.
Here it comes. It's nope, it didn't come.
We
Um,
got
what?
we got gypped.
We did. We got shipped. It sucked. But whatever. You know what? That was the weird thing. Maybe there was some kind of thing where he wasn't allowed to do it or he didn't want to do it again. He didn't want to be the guy who honks everybody's nose all the time, but he wanted to like give the impression that that's what he was gonna do, which is just
Yeah,
wrong. Then just don't do that.
yeah. They even did it in Cobra Kai a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yep.
as a just a
Chosen did
throwback.
it. Chosen did it, and I was like, "Oh, here goes Daniel."
That's
So,
funny.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember Chosen doing it because it's been a while since I saw like I think that's like
Ah,
season 2 or something, or whatever.
yeah, it was when he was in Okinawa.
Uh, um, but yeah, I think now I'm thinking about yeah, I remember that. So anyway, so Julie goes and chats with this guy in his car about everything, and they and get to know each other. They hang out, whatever, and it's the start of something, big that like their love and everything. And
Hmm.
then uh Julie goes back home. Mr. Miyagi is not happy with her, right? And everything.
Hmm.
Um, but I did what I did love was I the scene the stuff I loved was like a lot of the homework stuff too. I don't remember
Hmm.
any of that before, but like when he's like, I will teach you karate for, 4 homework assignments. And she gets it down to like 2 homework assignments and something else, or whatever. So like they basically barter so that she can learn karate. And then she wants to go to the mall, so he helps her by having her babysit. Now that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, like I was waiting for her to be like, 'cause at first she's not happy, like she's getting attacked by all these kids or whatever. And so I was like, I'm waiting for her to like play along and have fun with it. And she does. So she was great.
Yeah.
Um, are you ever gonna do the was the breathing thing where you say like, was it something green grass and something, what was it? What was the line? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, but I don't remember the exact line.
Yeah. Um, uh, it's here. The sun is warm, the grass is green.
Hmm.
And then, you breathe in, breathe out. The sun is warm. Ooh, it does kind of calm me down a little bit. It's like that. It's like the anger manage in the movie Anger Management was Bruise Fraba. That actually
Oh,
does help you out.
yeah.
It does help you out. It does make you feel a little better when
Yeah.
you say it. I don't know if it's just because it's a weird word and you're kind of
Yeah.
like in a way you're kind of laughing when you're kind of saying it, like at least in your head, like
Yeah.
Bruise Fraba.
I had to do stuff like that to somebody today.
Why somebody wanted to, or you wanted to punch somebody in the face?
No, I was piercing their belly and they started kind of flipping out. I was like, okay, speak with me. Deep breath in. And she's like, okay, deep breath in. I was like, hold it, breathe it out. And she did that a few times. She's like, wow, that works.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
calmed her down, stabbed her belly. She was
ha,
happy.
there you
Yeah.
go. In normal circumstances, that might be a weird phrase to say, but when piercing,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I
Um,
should I should change it to the sun and the grass.
yeah, the sun is warm, the grass is green. I mean, if it
Yeah.
if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so she ends up going in there fighting these kids and taking them out, with Nerf style, and I loved it because I have not seen a Nerf gun in forever. I don't know if they got rid of them or if
They
kids just
still
don't play
have
with
them,
them.
I think. I think they still have them, but kids are just like too into their phones. They don't know how
Yeah,
to play.
they don't know how to play anymore. Like,
What's funny is I used to babysit kids and I never knew where the Nerf wars came from until just now. I was like,
ah,
I babysat like Julie did at points. I
they
mean, I
watched
would
this
get the
movie
kids
and they're like,
playing.
yeah, you know. Um,
But yeah, I had Nerf wars with the kids I babysat. We
nice.
even have water gun fights, water balloons, everything. I mean, you get them playing, they pay attention, they behave.
Well, even if they're not like my thing is if you're babysitting and you're having fun with the
Yeah,
kids, that's better than like being just like, 'cause, you see those movies or TV shows or whatever, the strict baby, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead, the big, very strict babysitter, or
yeah,
whatever, that's just not any fun, or whatever. And that is sort of what happens a lot. Sometimes you'll get an older person who doesn't play and and everything, and then you get the uh the really cool babysitters that do play and have a lot of fun and everything.
yeah.
I only had one babysitter that wasn't my sibling. That's
Uh,
because my parents had my siblings, around all the time. So they never really needed one. But I remember this babysitter, he was a neighbor up the street, and he came over and he brought his girlfriend over. So they were all hanging out in the living room. And I was up in my mom and dad's room watching it was Saturday, so I was watching Snick. I remember just watching like Are You Afraid of the Dark? I don't remember what episode exactly, but I remember watching that, and playing, by myself and everything. And then I come in and I see them making out, and then I walk back up to my room and, went to bed. And that's the only time, like, I mean, that it's not like my parents never wanted him to come back or anybody else to come back. It's just that was the only time I've ever had any other person that wasn't like my siblings,
Hmm.
babysitting me because they're all older, so all of them were able to take care of me, and stuff. So, uh,
Yeah, pretty
I,
cool.
yeah, I mean, I guess, but then I don't have any babysitter stories. I'm not like, oh,
Yeah,
remember the hot babysitter, right? I never
I
had
only
any.
have one babysitter,
You only
and
have one babysitter.
she only babysat once because she threw a big raging party at our house the night she babysat me. I had fun. I mean,
What did she just give you a bunch of chocolate or something and say,
I
you
don't
know?
know. I just remember there was this guy playing the piano, and I went and sat by him and smiled and started singing with it. And he was like, "Okay, you go." And he started playing songs I knew, so I was like singing with all the music he was playing. I remember thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is the coolest babysitter ever."
I'd only been
But
to,
my parents got home and she got fired.
well,
Yeah,
they came home like when the, see, that's the thing. Don't throw a party. You don't have time to throw a party, you know?
exactly.
Like it's stupid to throw one when you're babysitting for like 5 hours or something,
Yeah.
or whatever, because like, there's no way you're gonna get it all cleaned up and you're gonna have a raging, you know, kegger, when the like that is some serious like, that's some serious work,
Yeah.
to
Like
pull that off.
when I babysat two kids that lived near my house, the mom told me I could have my boyfriend over. It's like I'm not dealing with him while I'm keeping kids. No.
Right?
So I never invited my boyfriend over. I was just like, no, I'm here to babysit. I'm not here to babysit him too.
I
So
re That reminds me of the was a Boy Meets World episode where uh Topanga is babysitting the kid and Corey comes over and
oh
they're like, oh, you can have this kind of boy,
yeah.
He's like, I'm a dangerous boy. And like when the guy says like, we're all dangerous in the beginning. I was like, oh man. All right, we're talking about everything but no. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we did kind of.
We're
I mean,
talking about
we're
her babysitting.
her babysitting. So
Yeah.
apparently that was a karate lesson, you know? Um See, this wasn't Karate Kid, man. Karate Kid, he teaches them using like, he did the wax on, wax off, and I was like, oh, really? Like, you're gonna do that again? Like, uh, do something else, uh, I don't know. They could have figured something else out, but they did
Yeah.
the wax on, wax off. They did this babysitting as a test. Then Julie goes back to the school at night to check up on Angel, and the kids are there. The bad kids are there, and that got really weird. Like, where were they gonna go with that? Because like, if they busted her, was he gonna try to like make it with her there? Like, was he gonna try to have sex with her at the school?
Yeah, I wondered that too.
Like, what? Like, what? See, because it's PG-13, they can't
Yeah.
really go there, right?
And it's not like PG-13 now where they would go there.
Yeah, now it'd be a little darker and more
Yeah.
disturbing, but it would be still safe to be PG-13 if you don't show anything, or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, imply things, but like it would
Yeah.
be dark and disturbing maybe. Now it just felt weird. It felt like out of place. Like it, because you know what I think it is? It's because in the original Karate Kid movies, the first three, it was a boy dealing with boys. Every bully was a boy. Mike Barnes in the third one. The Chosen in the second one, and Johnny in
Yeah.
the first. So
Yeah.
he had those were the bullies. Those were uh the people he had to fight at the end or whatever. And I'm glad they didn't do a tournament. I because Miyagi really hates tournaments, and so it wouldn't have made any sense. So I'm glad they didn't do that. But like
Yeah.
he, with the girl dealing with boys, it kind of always goes sort of sexual. you know? I remember I remember wrestling with this girl, and it was just play wrestling, whatever, as a older kid, but I wasn't in high school. I think it was in middle school still. But me and this girl kind of wrestled around watching The Pest with
Oh,
John
John
Leguizamo,
Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo, and because we were the only ones in the thing, so we just started messing around. But it wasn't like mess around, like we weren't gonna like I wanted to make out with her, but I didn't, and that would have been my first kiss. But I think there was a moment where if I leaned in to try to do it, I don't think she would have said no, you know? But now she's married and there's
Yeah.
nothing there. But the point is like that's it. Like that's the relationship right there. So when you're with a guy and a girl, it's wrestling and dealing with that stuff, it becomes sort of sexual, you know? And so it they should have had it be that there was a girl in that group, that was harassing her. Because then it would have had a different tone. It wouldn't be so kind of creepy, you know? It would have been like they were, just rivals. They just didn't like each other and they were gonna fight, that kind of thing, you know? It wasn't like I'm gonna fight you and then I'm gonna take you, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Uh-oh. Shit. I had this whole thing too. Ah, I'm gonna pause this for a second.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Sorry, there's just like this, just this whatever the issue is like with the I guess storm that's happening out at your house.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
so yeah, so there was like so what I was explaining, apparently what got cut off with both of us is that I was explaining that there was this kiss that could have happened between me and my friend and it didn't and it's fine. She's married, everything's groovy, like life is perfect. Um, but that's the thing. When it comes to people, boys and girls, it if they wrestle or fight or whatever, it gets sexual. Like it
Mhm.
just can't help it. Especially if they're like maybe at least one of them's into each other.
Yeah.
It's gonna get sort of like that. Um and if the one person's into each other and the other one's not, it's gonna get weird. And
Yeah.
so we so that's the thing. And I was always thinking there should have been a female leader. It shouldn't have been Ned, it could have been Nadina, you know, but it should have been a female that was
Mhm.
there because it didn't matter that he was like thinking this girl's mine and all this stuff, right? that that's not part of bullying, or whatever. A bully would have been somebody who's the same, the same age and same gender. That would have felt more bullying. This felt like
Yeah.
more, you need to call the cops and have this person arrested for attacking you like that. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Exactly.
so my point is that I just didn't like him sort of and with the guys there, it got creepy. Like, are they
Yeah. I was creeped out by that
Are
too.
they sort of doing like a gangbang thing? I mean, what is gonna happen here? Or are they just gonna let him go off and do whatever he wants? Like, what is the point of all these dudes being
Yeah.
there stopping her? Like, it just got a little too icky. But
Yeah.
then she got caught after that and then arrested, and Mr. Miyagi had to bail her out. And he found out why, and it was because of the hawk, and everything. And and then she goes back to the hawk to see the hawk, and the hawk's gone, right later. And the guy had found it, because I guess he had gone to the thing, found the hawk,
Hmm.
and gave it away to the animal control and stuff. And so Eric and Ned don't like each other,
Yeah.
already. Um there's like this like animosity between them. And Eric doesn't like the colonel. So
Mhm.
Eric's sort of the odd man out in this group.
Yeah. He didn't really fit with them at all.
He was the nice guy. Like he shouldn't have
Yeah.
been there. He only did what he was sort of told up until he was sort of told to do nasty things that he shouldn't have been told to do. Um,
Mhm.
so anyway, he likes her, she likes, he knows about the hawk and everything. So when they find the hawk at oh wait, well, no, that's not till later. The hawk being gone is not till later. That's not till she gets back from the monks.
Yeah.
So she got since she got arrested, she got what is it? Suspended for school for 2 weeks. And she was saying something about not being able to do my classes now, and like you can make up the classes that you didn't do for 2 weeks, but no, instead we're gonna go on a karate training thing in the monk monastery. But before then, we're gonna show Mr. Miyagi being a badass at a gas station.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like he
Yeah.
he has a way with animals, you know. And that dog liked him, and they thought that he turned his dog into a wimp. And no, he just respects Mr. Miyagi, you
Hmm.
know. I mean, why, because Mr. Miyagi is the dog whisperer, I guess. I don't know. But Mr. Miyagi has that scene and the thing, and then they're almost gonna, and then that gets all weird because they're almost gonna attack the girl like that. I'm like, is this sort of what they're trying to tell people? Is like most guys just attack girls and stuff like that? Because like it seems to be where a lot of it's going is like, you know,
Yeah.
um, and you know what? I mean, that might be a very true statement because I know a lot of
Mhm.
people who tell me horror stories about even them going to the gas station and getting hit on or getting stalked or getting whatever. And I feel bad, like terribly, because that's just gross to me. Like,
Yeah.
guys of the
I've
world,
had
if
it
you're
happen to
doing
me
this,
a lot.
guys of the world, if you're doing this, don't do it. Just leave the
Yeah.
girls alone. If you say hello and she reciprocates, leave it at that. If she
Yeah.
seems to be interested in more than that conversation, you can keep going. But if just understand, like, no girl wants to talk to you while they're at the gas station. I don't bother
Yeah.
girls. The only thing I do is I hold the door for them. That's it.
Yeah.
And if
That's
they
nice.
say thank you, I say you're welcome. And that's it. That's all you should do at a freaking gas station. Do not holler at them. Do not tell them to smile. Leave them
Mhm.
the fuck alone because
Exactly.
people, I mean, guys, I don't know if guys would like it if girls did that to them, Like they
Hmm.
would feel really weirded out if a girl was like, "Hey, baby, shake that ass," right? They'd be like, "That's okay, I don't like that." Like I maybe some might be like into it, but some girls might be into it, but like you don't know, and so don't do
Yeah.
it.
See, in
Um,
New York, come across that everywhere you go. Yep. You
so
get
this,
the hey ma, yo ma, let me get those digits. It's like no. Oh, come on, you ugly anyway. It's like, what? You call me ugly because I won't give you my number?
that's
I
gross.
have one say she doesn't know what neighborhood she's in. And
That's
I
kind
turned, I said, I do, and that's why I'm not going to entertain you. And I just walked on in my way.
of yeah.
But
I
he
mean,
was yelling, yo, ma, give me those digits. And I was like, just ignored it and walked away. And he started yelling stuff at me. And then he made that threat. I was like, oh, okay, now's the time to speak.
and it's the time to get the fuck out of there.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
turned, I said my part, and I walked off really fast. But
Good.
also, I had this thing where if a guy made me uncomfortable, I went into Hulk mode where I would just like puff up. So, and I get this really mean look on my face. And I was
Right.
told that would terrify anybody pretty much. But I didn't realize I was doing that at first. So, but yeah, the guys at the gas station with this girl,
Gross.
I'm
And
glad Mr. Miyagi beat him up. And the
yeah.
guy had the pencil stuck in his hair, still had the pencil over his ear after he got beat up.
Remember what Mr. Miyagi says later is if you're gonna fight, win. You know,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So he
Yeah.
won. He won that match, and everything.
Yeah, he
Kicked
was.
their ass. And
Always.
yeah. I don't think Mr. Miyagi's ever gotten his ass beat by anyone.
I
Like
think so.
not in all the four movies. I mean, he was about to fight
No.
the one guy, his buddy, his former buddy, Santo or whatever, Sancho, something like that. His buddy who was in part two, you know,
Uh-huh.
the uncle to Chosen's uncle,
Oh yeah. Okay, yes.
and he was gonna fight him, but then when they were gonna fight, uh typhoon happened, and he had to help. He helped him get out of that. The guy was gonna die. He was like, "You're stupid, kid. Get out of here." And so, he never ended up fighting him, and they just became friends. Which
Mhm.
I truly believe that happens a lot. So, if you're a kid listening to this, I don't know why you would be, but if you're a kid listening to this and you're getting bullied or whatever, um, understand that most likely you're going to become friends with that bully at some point. It's just most likely going to happen. Or you're just never going to see them again. Um,
Yeah.
but you're like almost every one of my bullies that I've ever had, at some point or another, we bonded over something, right?
Mhm.
And so if I ever have kids and the kid is telling me, like, my kid's telling me I'm being bullied, and stuff like that, I'll be like, okay, right now it sucks. This sucks. But don't worry. As time passes, you and this guy or girl or whoever is going to become friends. It's just going to
Mhm.
happen because bullying doesn't last forever. Um,
Mm.
Weirdly enough, unless you're online. I don't know. People do that shit all the time online. They bully because they can't. But those are trolls. That's not the same. Um, but like, in the real world, a bully attacks you, and after a while, you'll just become friends with them because they'll be tired of being a bully, or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but in the beginning, it you know it sucks. It feels like your world is in danger all the time or whatever.
Hmm.
And so when she's being bullied by these MP people or whatever they are, she's you know she kind of does become friends with them at the end. Like when she fights Ned and kicks his ass, and everything, and she wins that fight. She wins the respect of everybody. And
Yeah.
then they don't want her, then Mr. Miyagi fights, like, and then they realize who the real bully is,
Hmm.
and the whole thing is the leader, the colonel. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. So anyway, they go to the monastery, and there's a bunch of random shit going on in there. Like the monks are helping him with training, meaning like throwing stuff at her, and she has to, because you knew when you saw that she was doing it blindfolded, that she was gonna have to do it blindfolded or something, or like her eyes wouldn't be whatever. Because there's another movie that was made in 1991 called Kickboxer Part Two. And there's the Kickboxer movie with uh Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then the sequel has Sasha Mitchell from Cody
Hmm.
from Step by Step, and he's a martial artist in real life. I don't know if he still is or not. But I've seen pictures of him. He's still a big dude. I would not mess with him. Um, but I would cast him in one of my movies if I could. Um, yeah, what was it? So was um he was in an thing where he had to do stuff blindfolded. He tried it blindfolded, right? And then he couldn't see later at the end of the movie. So it had to be like he was blindfolded and stuff.
Yeah.
So like when you see that, you're like, oh, okay, now somebody's gonna go blind for a second or whatever. And so Julie learns how to do things blindfolded. She almost squashes a cockroach. Um,
Hmm.
that was interesting because the cockroach, I guess, and it totally makes sense. Is like it's all karma. So if you kill something, a living creature, that your karma sounds like it's gonna be messed up. I kill bugs all the time, and I feel terrible. But I'm like, I don't
Oh,
want them crawling on me. I'm sorry, you know.
uh-uh.
Uh, I guess I could throw them outside, but they'll just come back inside. You know,
Exactly.
that's what they do. So I'm sorry. I'm still killing that spider. Sorry, monks. I
What I
just want.
wonder is why the bugs don't respect us and just go away.
I wish they would, but yeah, I don't think they understand that. Part of
No,
nature
should be mutual respect.
should be. Can't be one-sided respect, I guess.
No.
So anyway, they fight the monks do all the training, all the stuff. Then later they have that wish that she wants them to be in Boston for some reason. That's her wish. You say your wish out loud, it doesn't come true. That's what I've been told.
Exactly. Same here.
I don't know. So apparently she said it out loud and they said, "Oh, okay, we can make that happen. We haven't been
Hmm.
out of the monastery in forever, but we'll do it for you. Um, just so we can get freaking Zen bowling. That's it." Um, so then they go back to what?
Okay, you froze for a second. You're
Oh,
back.
okay,
Okay.
good. Oh Lord. Um, so then they go out of the what is it? Fuck. The monastery. They leave the monastery and they go back home, and I guess she's gonna go back to school, right? So she's excited to see Angel and her boyfriend, you know, because he's been watching her. We talked about that, right? No, we didn't. I don't think we
No.
mentioned that. So he's been watching Angel. So she goes to go check up on Angel. Angel's gone. And of course, Ned had done it. And again, Ned and Eric get into a fight. But Julie kind of tells Eric to leave him alone just because he's not worth it, and
Mm.
everything. He would have, it looked like he would have thrown him off the fucking building or something like that. And I'm like thinking, if it ever got to that dark, because at the end of the movie, it looked like it was going to be murder at the end.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
like, because like, there's no way that they weren't going to go to the cops, after
Yeah.
all that stuff. So, in order to not get called by the cops and not have to deal with this shit, they would have to murder these people. And I was like, whoa, this is going to either get really, really dark or it's going to stay PG-13 and not go dark and just whatever. And that's what they did. So,
Mhm.
what is it? So they find out that the birds at the hawks at the animal control kind of thing. So they take the hawk back. It's got a broken wing, so it can't fly. And Mr. Miyagi does the thing with his hands, that he doesn't like. I think all three of the movies before. So I think this
Yeah.
is just a constant thing. And he touches the bird and kind of makes the bird whatever. And then it's the faith of Julie that lets it fly, and then it flies right back, and then she has to let it go one last time, and that was sweet. And
Yeah.
with the music by Bill Conti, which I just love, the flutes and stuff. Oh, just magical, like that made me smile. Like that felt Karate Kid.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
So then Julie finds out from the boyfriend that she's been invited to prom, but she's scared to go because the what is it because she doesn't have a dress and she doesn't know how to waltz. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what kind of fucking school teaches you how to waltz? Like,
Exactly.
or has a waltz for the like? I did not go to prom. I never went to prom.
Oh,
I went to after prom. Um,
uh-huh.
I did not go to prom. I didn't have a date, and I didn't have any friends I wanted to like just go and hang out with and stuff there. So I
Hmm.
was like, fuck that. And I kind of regretted it. It's It's sort of a regret, but it's okay. Like it's nothing I can do. I'm not like, like it's not affecting my life in any way. It's sort of
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, damn it, I wish I had gone to prom because then I can have that experience. I wish somebody had told me you should go to prom. My
Yeah.
parents told me the exact opposite. Oh, you don't need to go to prom. You know, my parents had told me you should go to prom because you might actually like regret this someday. That's what I'm
Hmm.
gonna tell. Like if I have a once again if I have a kid or I have a girlfriend that has a kid, or wife or whatever, and they are like contemplating not going to prom, I would tell them I would go to prom because I didn't go to prom and I sort of regretted it. You should go to prom. Did you go to prom?
I went to prom 4 times
Oh Jesus! So you you
and we
did
did
you did
not
enough
dance
for
the
me.
waltz. Well, the thing is, the part I enjoyed the most about prom was getting dressed up. My date was a jerk every time. The music was horrible. So
What was
it was
it?
like they hired, what were they called? Spunk Monkeys is a group that they hired at every prom I went to.
It's the
I
same
was like,
band.
why do the Spunk Monkeys keep showing up?
Oh, it's because
So
they're probably
yeah,
cheap.
they were like the big band around the whole area.
Man, they
No,
should
the
need a
one
DJ to
in
play like.
Greenville, huh? Yeah, I thought they were gonna have a DJ, but they wanted the band.
Could you
And they
imagine
played
like,
stuff like Brown Eyed Girl. I'm
oh,
like, you can't, how you dance to that?
I
So,
mean, that's I guess a slow dance, maybe, but like,
with the slow dances, they did a lot of, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, I
oh,
want to
that
do
sucks.
this because I mean
Yeah,
that you're going Frankenstein.
you need
That's
stuff
all you're
like,
doing.
yeah, you need stuff like Britney Spears or or TLC or something that the kids
Stuff
are
like you
listening
see
to.
in the teen movies back in the 90s. I mean, they didn't
Yeah,
have
like
any of that. Yeah, they didn't have any of that.
what is it? The like she's all that with
Yes.
what's that song? Funk's your brother.
Yeah, right
What
about
about
now.
now? Yeah, that shit,
Yeah,
man. Like that would
that
have
would have
been
been awesome.
perfect. But
Yeah, but they didn't do
no,
that.
no, of course not.
Brown
Because
eyed
the Spunk
girl.
Monkeys don't know that song.
No. I mean,
Um,
it was horrible. And
are they still
the
around? I wonder. Let's see if I can
I
find them.
don't know. It was PHUNK monkeys.
Funk Monkeys?
MUNKEES.
Wait, is it Funk Monkeys or Spunk?
Spunk. Yeah. Oh yeah, spunk monkeys. Was
So
it
it's
the skunk?
SPUNKM.
Yeah, SPUNK. Sorry.
They okay, they exist. Oh man.
They're
So they
still
are,
around.
and they spell it like monkeys, like KEES. Like, hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can book them. Oh my God. I'm guessing for
Wow.
your,
They
you
got to
know,
be like 70 by now.
I know. Wow, they have a huge list. They've got like 311 down,
No
Thousand Doors of
way.
Smoke, AC/DC Shook Me All Night,
Oh
AC/DC
wow,
Highway to Hell.
they
Yeah.
added since the
Hold on, wait,
1990s.
what was it Van Morrison, right? Was Brown Eyed Girl. Did they still play Brown Eyed Girl? Let's find out. Yes, they still play Brown Eyed Girl.
Gosh.
And they play
They
Bliss.
even hired them for a graduation dance. And I was like, oh, these guys again. I mean,
They
everywhere I went, they were there.
they
And
played
it was to the point of where I went to a school dance and the lead singer grabbed me and started dancing with me.
oh
I was like, oh, you're an old dude. I can't dance with you. I'm only 17.
yeah.
No, at the time I was only 16. I was like, this is so illegal, dude.
Yeah, it's so
I
awkward.
mean, it was very awkward. I mean, I know my face turned red when he grabbed me and pulled me on the dance floor. And he's sitting there singing to me as
Oh, they do
it was so
Sublime.
weird.
Oh
Huh?
man, they got some weird like and some random songs, but yeah, they're still
Yeah.
around apparently. So, and
Wow.
they're using an old picture, I'm guessing, because they do not look. I guarantee you, if they're like 70 now, unless it's a brand new like group or whatever, like like that could be possible. Is like new people.
The
It's
lead singer have long hair?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my
So it
gosh,
says
that's got to be an old picture.
spunk monkeys have grown to become a bonding musical tradition for all types of people throughout Northeast Mississippi and beyond. From Anchorage, Alaska to Key West, Florida, and everywhere in between, including Las Vegas, Destin, Dallas, Houston, Panama. Oh, well, to name a few, Matt Nolan, Jody Lindsay, Mark Lyman, and Sean Miller have made the Spunk Monkeys synonymous with partying, good music, and good times. Oh, um, apparently, according to your Yelp review, not so much. Yeah. Oh, can you see this? Oh, can you see this guy? That's him.
Oh wow.
That's what he looks like now. Can you see it?
Yeah, see it.
Oh God, he's still got the long. Oh
Wow.
wait, well that's one guy. No, here's the lead guy.
Yeah, that's the dude that grabbed me.
All right,
Can
we
you
got
imagine
picture.
being like 16 and that guy grabbing you and you're like,
He looks like Vigo from Ghostbusters 2, like the god that's in the painting or whatever that wants to come out. It's like Vigo, the Carpathian, is trying to dance with you. Oh Lord. Oh, I'm sorry
oh
about
my
that.
gosh.
Anyway,
That's
moving on.
insane that they're still around. Wow. Yeah, that was my prom. Every year they were at the prom.
All right.
Yeah.
So, well, we did talk about the spunk bike. All right. So she doesn't have a dress, so of course Mr. Miyagi has to go get a dress. And instead of bringing her in there, 'cause I guess he wanted to surprise her. But I'm like, he doesn't know her size. He doesn't know what she likes. Like, what the fuck is going
No.
on here? Like, just bring her in. Say, I've got a surprise for you, and then bring her to the dress place, and she'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing. But
Exactly.
but anyway, um he goes and talks to the lady. I think that's because they wanted more humor. Like it
Mhm.
was trying to be humorous where she doesn't understand anything about girls. Like that was like the
Yeah.
whole thing throughout the whole movie. He doesn't understand girls. He says boys are easier, or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true because girls have a lot of things that they have to deal with that boys just don't care or don't have to deal with them. You know,
Mhm.
girls have PMS and stuff and issues with their bodies that boys don't have to deal with, right? So boys are sort of easier. So I get it, but you signed
Mhm.
up for this, dude. You can't complain, you know? You told that woman, "Oh, I'll take care of her." Like, before you ever thought to yourself, "Shit, I don't think I'm going to be able to take care of this chick because I don't know anything about girls." So he gets a dress. It actually was kind of a cute dress, but I'm like,
Yeah.
how did he pick that out? Like with knowing exactly, like, but
Pretty much he was like, she's like,
yeah, it's like this big, like whatever. Like he's,
just tall.
yeah, it was ridiculous. And then he teaches her how to waltz by like using it as a karate chop. I thought that was cute. 'Cause I
Yeah.
saw it coming. I was like, oh, she's teaching her how to waltz, you know? And I'm
Yeah.
like, they never waltzed in the movie, like at
No.
the dance, because they don't waltz at dances. Like, what the fuck? But
No.
she was when she was dancing with the guy, she was putting her like fists up,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's how she was learning. So I thought that was kind of cute. Um,
Yeah.
so then the the guy comes to pick her up for the date. Oh, the monks come first. The monks come to visit, and they're all hanging out. And then the guy comes up, and he's like, one of the monks answers the door, and he's just like, is Julie home?" Right? So, oh yeah, Julie's on. Oh, come on in. That got really weird, pretty quickly. So anyway, your kitty. It's like kitty or dog?
Yes.
Kitty. Is that
He came
Midnight?
to visit. Huh?
Who's that? Which kitty is
This
that?
is Twilight Sparkle
Twilight.
Bats.
Twilight. Um. So anyway, So yeah. So Julie goes to go on her date, and they drive to the prom. Miyagi wants to do something with them, so they go bowling. You know. Um.
Mhm.
And mm, they're bullied by this guy who's just like, "Don't touch my balls." I thought there would be some kind of comedy with that, but it got real serious that didn't even make me laugh.
Yeah.
Right? Um, don't touch my ball, whatever. Stay away from this. I'm like, and then they said, "Do you want to wager? Do you want to do a bet?" And he was like, buck a pin or whatever, right? So of
Hmm.
course uh the monks who I wonder if they ever bowled before. I'm guessing they
Hmm.
had, like before they became monks or something maybe. They bowled and they were like tossing it down easily and just knocking every pin down. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And I
Like
guess
you're
like
you're really good at first.
yeah, and so they beat the guy and later they teach the guy how to do it, how to do everything and whatnot. And they were like praying, you know. I'm like, really? Like that's kind of cheating, isn't it? You got the power of God on your side. Well, it's kind of cheating. Like especially when that one king comes out of the into the gutter and then out, well, the channel as it's called now. But he goes
Yeah.
into the gutter, I'm gonna say gutter, and then he goes out back out and hits the pins. I'm just
Yeah.
like, that's no, that was if that was a force of God, like that's not fair. That guy
Maybe they were actually doing the thing from Caddyshack. No, 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 no,
no 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 no. I was thinking about that movie the other day, actually. It's been a while since I've seen it. I think it's on HBO Max or one of those channels.
Mm. But
So,
yeah, that's what it reminded me of when the ball shot back in. I was like, no, 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 no.
um, so yeah, all that stuff, and they're teaching them all that stuff and whatnot. And it was kind of cute. But it
Yeah.
was like I'm never gonna see Zen bowling, like ever again. Like that, this was their one chance to do that.
Yeah.
So might as well. At the dance, um, they're having a good time, enjoying themselves. The music seemed normal. Didn't seem like the Skunk
Mhm.
Monkeys,
No.
and then uh out of nowhere, four of the guys like jumped off the top of the rafters and jumped down, and one of them got hurt doing it. By the way, two of the guys, so one of the guys I actually have had on my radio show, that was in this movie, and that's the guy who plays Morgan. And I don't think you would know him unless you watched the movie and heard him say Morgan, because there's one time he actually says, what about you, Morgan? Or whatever, when they're at the dock, and stuff. But the other one was like the guy that sort of was kind of like we shouldn't do this, at first and blah 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 and all this stuff. And that was Walter Goggins, who is a really big star now. Back then he was
Huh.
a nobody, but now he's been in Quentin Tarantino films. He had his own show called The Unicorn, and he is an amazing actor. So I
Nice.
really, really loved seeing Walter Goggins in the movie. Um, then let's see what else. Trying to think of what. So they sort of do that stuff, and then they look embarrassed by him, by Julie and by Eric. So when they leave, the guy goes after them, and I mean, this was this was crazier than I thought, because they go and they park, and you see the car come up, and you're like, oh shit, trouble's gonna happen, right? And they're
Hmm.
talking in the car, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, right, I think it was right after they kissed for the first time in the car, all of a sudden, like, like the windows get, knocked out, and
Yeah.
the guy's attacking the car. And I mean, I wouldn't have gone to the, they said go to the police, and they were like, oh, he'll just deny it. Witnesses, like, that's the
Yeah.
whole point of witnesses. I mean, you know, there's, I mean, you can deny it and everything, but yeah, it's most likely, yeah, whatever. So they go, um, they don't go to the police. Of course, he goes to the dock, and so Julie and Miyagi show up after, he's already had his fight with Ned. I think it was Ned, right, in the beginning. And
Hmm.
Ned starts kicking, his ass or whatever, Eric's ass, and again, right? And then all the other guys kind of think joined in a little bit or something. And he had to fight all of them, you know? And that's at the docks, they're fighting, and Mr. Miyagi and Hillary Swank, Julie show up. Should have been like, dude, let's go. We're going to the cops now, but I think they did the right thing because like if they didn't fight these guys and they didn't, they would have just be harassed for the rest of life,
Oh
until
yeah,
they did stick up for themselves.
yeah.
So, Julie had to fight Ned, right? And she kicked his ass up until he threw the like dust or whatever, the dirt into her eyes.
Mhm.
And then she had to do the blindfold stuff. She had to fight like a blindfold and everything. She did. She kicked his ass again. Um, and then the the colonel I think was gonna try to kick her ass, and then Mr. Miyagi came in and fought, right, and kicked the colonel's ass,
Yeah,
and that was pretty epic. That was pretty awesome. Um, and all the guys sort of knew like right then and there, like all the people in the group sort of knew. Like I like these movies because they have a formula to it, and by the end of the movie, you sort of see things from other movies. And so, have you ever seen the movie Only the Strong with Mark
yeah. Love
Dacascos?
that. Had that on tape too.
Remember sort of like there was that gang that was going like ha da 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 ha da 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 da,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
and stuff like that, and they were
yeah,
and then the other team was going banana way, right,
yeah,
and he gets in that fight, does a really cool kick because that's what Julie did, the really cool kick, to
yeah.
Ned. We forgot to mention that, but
Hmm.
um, yeah. So which was perfect for her because she was just awesome,
Hmm.
and did show how badass she was. And then Mr. Miyagi fighting them, and then the group, the gang, kind of turns on the boss, and that's sort of what happens at the end of like Only the Strong. Spoiler alert for people who haven't seen Only the Strong, but it's been out since 1993, so I think you have that's ample time for spoilers. Um, but at the end of Only the Strong, the Mark Dacascos wins and he's kind of whatever. And there's this line where, nobody's gonna care about this guy anymore, right? And that's sort of what happens is like nobody cares about the colonel anymore. Then he's done, he ain't gonna be teaching these kids anymore. They're gonna move on to something else and hopefully, realize they just spent way too much time with this guy and none of it's going to end up mattering. Because
Hmm.
like I think the reason a lot of them did this is so that they could have that recommendation for like whatever they wanted to go to, like military and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
think to join the Air Force, I don't think you need a recommendation.
I
I
don't think,
think you just need to enlist,
yeah,
So
I think so. I don't think you have to have a special written letter from anyone.
I don't think so. So I don't
I
know.
mean, if I don't know, maybe it'll get you in quicker. Maybe you're like on a wait list. I don't know. I didn't really think
Yeah.
that many people were trying to get into it, but maybe back then.
I don't know. Maybe even now. Well, no, probably not as much. Yeah, I think especially with all this war actually going on right now,
Yeah.
nobody's like going, "Yay, let's go join the Air Force," yeah, because it's scary. It's a scary time.
Yeah.
94 might not have been as scary and maybe they were thinking about doing that. But um so they have sort of the ending with that. Trying to remember, did it do anything else after that? Or did it end just with them leaving the
I think pretty much it ended. Well,
yeah, right? Like there was no like PS
yeah,
in there.
because Julie was like, "You kicked his butt."
And then he was like, yeah, well, if you fight, you win, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because she was trying to tell him, like, you told me never to fight. Like, yeah, well, if you
Yeah.
fight, win. And so, what's the other line I really liked? There's two other like, yeah. So when she had tried to kill the cockroach, and they saved the cockroach and everything,
Yeah.
and whatnot. Um, the monks all leave. We forgot to mention that monks all leave and kind of storm off, like not happy with her because she is trying to kill animals in their monastery, and they find it that to be like a sanctuary, and anything is welcome. I'm like, something's on my freaking face. It's getting killed. I'm sorry. I don't like spiders at all. And if one of them was crawling on me, it's dead. Like, you know. But there was a line where let me look at the exact lineup, but it was pretty good because um he was talking about them. Let's see. Um, do, 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 there was a okay, so here's a couple good lines. So one was congratulations, Julia-san. Congratulations. It's all you're gonna say is congratulations. Don't I get a belt or something? Buy belt more? No, I mean a karate belt. Brown belt, black belt. Why need belt? So everyone knows I'm good. You know you're good at you good. That's the important thing. Oh, come on. Even Elvis Presley had a black belt. Like, borrow from Elvis next time you see him. You know. Some of the jokes were really
Yeah,
cheesy.
that's good.
There's some jokes that were really cheesy. One I really hated was when she said, "When am I going to learn how to break boards or whatever?" Right? And he was like, "What did board ever do to you?" And I was like, that feels like somebody tried to write a Miyagi line and just didn't nail it. Like,
Yeah.
because like I was thinking about it earlier. Is like part two had one of the best lines in the movie is where he sees that Santo or whatever that guy, the bad guy, the uncle, uh
Mhm.
in a picture breaking like a tree, or whatever, cutting a tree
Mhm.
or whatever. And he goes, or Daniel looks over and goes, "Can you do that?" And he was like, "I don't know, never been attacked by tree." And that is a Miyagi line. Like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
because that was written by the original writer, and he writes
Yeah.
Miyagi very well. Um, so one of his lines was, because she said it's stupid that I can't, squash these bugs or whatever, right? And he goes, "It's stupid when neighborhood gangs kill each other with no reason. It's stupid when countries fight wars. Not stupid to respect all living things." That was really sweet. There's
Yeah.
a couple really good lines and a couple really cheesy, like that didn't land as well as the other ones.
Yeah.
Overall, this was by far my least favorite of the four original Karate Kid movies.
Mhm.
And I think once again that goes to the writer. I think it and the director. I just think like the original writer and director who done the first three was like perfect together. They
Mhm.
handled everything. They did it beautifully, and they knew it's like each time they knew the characters even more and more. So it really helped.
Mhm.
This it felt like it just felt weird. But if I had to like rank them, I would say number one is obviously number one. Uh, like number three is two, you know. Number two is three, and number four is four. So, once again, dead last. But I'm gonna be doing the Karate Kid remake with John Ward. That's probably gonna be my least favorite of all. Because like, and that's the last one of the movies until the new movie comes out, which comes out next year.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not really, I'm not really, I don't know. Like, I'm confused as to what is going on. Um,
Hmm.
but that's why they had to wrap up season six, is because they're doing the movie. So
Oh,
yeah,
I know that.
yeah. So that was the thing. They were gonna end on season six, which I think is, I mean, they're ending pretty well, I think, so far. So I think it's gonna be
Mhm.
a pretty decent finale. Then they're probably gonna do spin-offs, of like Miyagi, young Miyagi. Uh, I don't know what else they could do spin-offs of, unless they do like a Chosen spin-off or something. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm really that interested in Chosen as like a spin-off character. Like I like him in the Cobra Kai series, but anyway, all in all,
He
it
has
was
funny moments.
what
He has funny moments in it.
he does, but overall, I think it he would not make a good like full like lead character,
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, it would be interesting to have more flashbacks where we get to see what Chosen was doing, in Okinawa after Daniel left and stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, we hear sort of things from it, but I don't really have a clear understanding of what he was like, I guess, because I think him and that one girl end up getting together, the one he liked, that Daniel liked.
Hmm.
Didn't they end up getting together or something, like marrying? And now apparently like possibly divorced. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. It got weird um in the show, but um I I like the next Karate Kid. I just and when I say it's like my fourth or yeah, it's my like fourth, it's my last so far. It's just that's not that bad because it's still a pretty decent movie,
Yeah.
you know. It's probably been a while since you've seen all the other ones too, right? So you can't really.
Saw the third one? Yeah, the third one not long ago.
Did you like which one did you like better?
Hmm.
Because
I actually like the third the most. I don't know why.
even
It's
better
like
than
I
the first?
no, I like the first one, then the third one,
Yeah.
then this one. The second one, I don't know. I didn't see that one that much.
Yeah,
So I
I
just kind of
rewatched
lost
it, so
interest. Yeah, I need to rewatch it again, but it rarely comes on TV. Like I think I saw it on TV a few months ago or something, but I
uh,
didn't watch it. So,
I mean, I don't know. I might have been said before, like two and three. I kind of go between two and three. Like two and three kind of switch
uh,
around. Like
yeah.
some days I might like number two a little bit more. Don't say
Mhm.
that. Number two, you know. Um, but thankfully it wasn't a number two. Like it was pretty decent. I originally never liked it. I thought because I was never into Okinawa culture and stuff.
Mhm.
And then when I rewatched it now, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Um,
Yeah,
it,
I could see that.
but like yeah, I mean, a lot of people love traveling and love to see different places and things like that. I'm just not.
Mhm.
It's if I travel, that's great, but I'm kind of like my dad and my brother. Like we are all like we'll go if we go on vacation. Like I'll use this as an example. We went on a cruise, and we went to the Bahamas, right? I think it was Bahamas. Yeah. So we went on to the island, and as we were going around the island, um, we went like we would go to like this pirate museum and couple places, but like we were in and out, and we were done for the day, and then we went back to the boat, and stuff because
Mhm.
we don't really we're I don't know, we're kind of homebodies. We don't really, want to be out very much and doing stuff. And my
Mhm.
mom and my sisters are very much like they want to take their time and they want to do this and want to do that. And we're just the exact opposite. Like in, out, we're done. We had a fun time, but let's get back home so I can, for me, just relax, because
Mhm.
whenever I'm home, I'm relaxing, or whatever, or
Yeah.
I'm in my own room where, like, if I'm in a hotel, I feel like I'm home, and stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, so I don't really care about the yeah, I just didn't care. But if somebody were like, "Hey, I got a plane ticket to Japan, would you like to go with me?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah, I'd go."
Yeah.
And, I'd be excited. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm not like I don't think I'd ever be like seeking this out unless there was a purpose, you know? Like I'm
Yeah.
just not vacations are just you know, vacations are just like I like staycations. I like to just stay at home and just not do anything for like a week. And that is to
Yes.
me that no podcast, no, you know, no writing, no nothing, just sitting at home in my bed in my PJs watching TV. That would be like that's to me the perfect, week, or whatever. So,
Mhm.
anyway, I'm just weird like that cuz that's just how I'm wired. But anyway, I guess that about wraps it up. We talked a little longer than I expected. We also had a couple issues, and
Yeah,
they're all
glitches.
gonna. Hey, sorry, they're all gonna be in here. So if you listen to the whole thing, you're gonna have to fast forward through shit that you probably don't want to listen to. So, I'm not
Me
editing
making
any of this
faces.
shit. What?
Me making faces like,
Well, no, because yeah, I mean, some of the video might be out, but I don't know.
uh,
This is gonna be mainly audio, so they'll just have to deal with like,
they're gonna hear me saying hello.
hello. They'll hear you. I don't know though, because like I think they hear the hello bit from your side. I didn't hear that, much.
Oh, okay, because I was like, hello, are you there? Hello.
And I think there was a couple times you did that. All
No,
right.
I'm not saying hello to you.
Guess we're gonna have to find out when this gets out there. So
Oh
everybody,
yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys stayed to the end, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys thought. Are you guys excited about the new Karate Kid movie? Uh this episode, like this series of the mainstream will be back in 2 months. So we'll be back in, I guess, what is it? September? Yeah, September for me and John were doing the Jaden Smith Jackie Chan one. I've never even seen it. I've seen clips and I'm just
It
like
should be the Kung Fu Kid. It
I
should not
know
be
it's
Karate Kid because
I
it's
know
not even karate.
and you know what I found out today? It made like $350 million
No
on a
way.
$40 million budget. It made basically $300 million profit, or whatever,
Wow.
like close
That's
to it.
crazy.
So,
Jaden
and
Smith used to come in our tattoo shop.
tell me about that real quick before we end it.
I don't know. He was just really odd. That's all I remember. Like I didn't go upstairs and be like, "Hey, who are you?" I just kind of sat and watched through the window that reflected his reflection into it. He was just really odd talking and everything, odd character moving around. It's just, I
Can you
don't
talk
know.
about his daddy?
No, I never heard him talk about his dad, but it was him and who was that other kid? Kid that played Rico on Hannah Montana. They both came
Oh,
in one
oh,
time.
you told me
Yeah.
about that Moises or something
Yeah.
like that.
Now he
Yeah,
was cool. I
I've
loved
heard,
when he came in.
and I love him whenever he's in movies and television shows.
Yeah.
He he's a good fucking actor. Like
Oh yeah.
I don't think people give him enough credit.
No. He's a
He
really
was
super nice guy too in
he was
person.
obnoxious on that show, but like that was the point. Like he was the
Yeah.
kid who owned or whose dad owned the place that the
The little
Hannah,
restaurant.
yeah, the restaurant that Hannah Montana's
Yeah.
brother worked at and stuff. So you had to
Yeah.
deal with him all the time.
Yeah.
And
But when I
but
met him, I was like, "You're Rico." And he's like, "Oh my God."
that's so
We
funny.
sat holding hands, shaking hands, jumping up and down on the second floor of
Oh,
the tattoo shop. And the
he's
artist is like, "What's going on?"
that's cute.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. That's weird. I did not know Jaden and him were friends, but
I don't know if they're friends. They were just in the shop at the same time once. So,
ah maybe they're
but that
probably
kid showed, they both showed up a lot. And I was like
separately
Jaden
or
never spoke to me, but he would speak to me. The other guy would speak to me. Moises.
Moises. I
Yeah.
like that dude. I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad he was nice. if I were ever to cast somebody like that and I had a role for him, like he would definitely get something because
Oh
he's
yeah.
super cool. I've always liked him. I always liked him, and I liked the 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 friend, the guy friend of Hannah Montana, the one that sort of I guess always had a crush on Hannah, but
Oh
then
yeah. I don't remember his name
I
though.
don't remember, but he's been in stuff. He was in like a shark movie that we watched and reviewed. Not you and me, but like
Oh,
for
okay.
Indie Film Cafe.
Yeah.
It was some kind of shark movie where it was like a shark on the beach kind of thing. It
Mhm.
was a shark. It was a monster on the beach. It was a monster on the
Hmm.
beach. So it was like the sand, I think it was called. And so yeah, he was
Uh,
on that. And me and Liz, I think Liz Fletcher did that. And it was just like, whoa. And then we saw him and we're like, oh my God, that's the kid from Hannah Montana. Kind of grown up, you know.
yeah. Sorry,
But
the
I
cat's nuts.
he's like, it's time. It's time to end this shit. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Join me in 2 months when John Ward and I will be reviewing the uh Karate Kung Fu Kid movie, and I am not looking forward to that, but it's gotta happen because it's part of, and I don't want to just skip things. It's the same thing as next year. I'll tell you what we're doing next season. I've not mentioned this online, I don't think yet, so I don't want to say it yet, but I'm planning to do one that has another movie that I'm not really looking forward to watching either. So it happens. It's like usually in a series, you get that a lot,
Yeah.
so all right, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.